Everybody, we are here with Liz Kranyak with Premier Gems, and today we are going to talk about jewelry repair. Hey Liz, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, trying to stay dry here in the Arctic tundra that is Calgary. My gosh. So, what I was going to talk about today was a little bit about repairs and the anatomy of a ring. So, much like our own anatomy, each of our parts here have names and functions and parts that break down and need to be fixed. So, we can either go with the body analogy, or we can go with the car part analogy, whatever you're most comfortable with. So,
I think body's good because we all have a body, and we're
yes.
really familiar with that. But some people might not know cars, so
So we can start with a very simple part of it. So we have our stone right there. The part holding this. Can you see this? Okay.
yeah, it's perfect.
Part holding the stone. These are called your prongs. Right here. This is so essential because really the bulk of the price in your ring is right in there. The stone here. Beautiful princess cut, by the way, in our estate department. It does need a home. Um, so over time, as you're wearing this ring, these parts right here, they wear down. They're either rubbing against steel, they're rubbing against and anything along doing your dishes or gardening, anything. And this takes over a period of years. Gold wears down, and it also gets knocked out of place and out of the way. And so these pieces are not going to be holding that stone very well. So what you need to do, the best defense against losing a stone, biggest thing, check your claws. So have anybody in a jewelry store who is worth their salt is going to be happy to clean and check your claws for you. Not only does that protect yourself, they also have somebody to talk to during their day. So,
So you're
do
actually
that.
doing them a favor. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you are. You really are. You're doing yourself a favor for checking your ring. You're doing them a favor for coming in and saying hello and being nice and friendly and stuff. So, what we do when the claws wear down is re-tipping. So, these are your claws right here. This is your tip. I'm tapping that on the top. This is probably too small. You probably can't see it. But anyway, so what we do when we re-tip something is this will be broken off completely. We will actually solder on a new piece of gold right on top and hold that there. Perfect.
So Liz,
Yes.
how often would claws wear down to the point where you're going to lose your stone? Like, is this a how many years would it take, or is it like I have no idea?
There's a few variables to that. Check your claws every 6 months. But retipping, I would say you have to do it within 5 to 10 years. Don't go past the 10-year mark, please. And it depends on the material. With some golds are softer than others. All gold is gold, but it's what we put into it that changes the hardness or softness or the carat of it. Rose gold is going to be softer than white gold because of what we put into it that's stronger or weaker or softer or malleable. It's the copper in rose gold, which is very popular right now, so check your rose gold. Um, the copper in it makes it softer. Then the silver and the nickel in white gold will make it actually stronger.
Okay, so it kind
Doesn't
of
ma-
depends on what you have.
it
But
does.
rule of thumb is 6 months. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's when it comes to yellow gold, it can be the difference in the carat can make it softer or harder, right? So your 22 carat is going to bend a lot easier than your 10 carat. So, having said that, always check your claws every 6 months. You'll get a free cleaning out of it, and you'll have a nice conversation with a jewelry professional.
So
So,
what other parts of the ring, like you were saying, the anatomy of the ring? So we've talked a bit about the stone, we've talked about the claws.
yep. So another part, and this is going to happen when let's say you inherit grandma's ring. This is called a shank. All along here, the part that goes around your finger. So there's the shoulders, and then there's the shank. So shoulders, you really, unless you've run over it with your truck, we're not going to have to do a lot of work there, unless you have little stones that go along here. and those are called side stones. The side stones would have to be retipped too, but that's still on the first topic. Shank, down here at the bottom, this is where we size your ring. So it gets too big, it gets too small, and that's totally not your finger growing, shrinking or growing. It's the ring's fault. It's what we do when we size a ring to make it bigger. We can cut it, open it up, put a new piece of gold in, and solder that closed. Same thing for when you're going smaller. We cut it, take out a piece that we need to, and some people will actually melt that gold into the ring and use that as the solder. Solder's kind of like the metal glue that holds it all together. So we heat it up and it melts back into the ring.
Not sure if you were joking there or not, but so do ring sizes, can they change over time, or is that more to do with diet and exercise?
There's a few reasons ring sizes change. Life does happen, and people's fingers and the rest of their bodies do fluctuate. Also with that, arthritis has a big part of that as well. Your knuckles can get bigger, and it's harder to get up that ring on and off. And so we have to size it that way to accommodate your knuckle and not have it roll around on the inside of your finger. There's a few other ways that we can accommodate that, but that's too much explanation. We can put arthritic beads inside, and so those are little pieces that go, so right in there, we'll put a little glob of gold here and here, and so that way you can turn it to the side, get it over the arthritic knuckle, and then onto your finger. And it fits a lot better. It's very comfortable. Doesn't look comfortable, but it is. And so that's one of the reasons that your fingers will change. It just happens. It's part of life. But the other thing I was saying, when you inherit grandma's ring, is the part at the bottom here, the bottom of the shank, it's going to wear down, much like your tips do. It's going to get very, very thin. And so we have to get something like that reshanked. So take off that whole bottom that's way, way, way too thin and put a new piece back on. And that will extend the life of that ring and make it much more easier to wear for the next 20 to 50 years. So
Liz, in most cases, is it more affordable generally to do all this sort of maintenance rather than simply replace the ring, especially given the stone situation, or is it simply better to just get the whole metal part redone?
Maintenance is always a great option along the road. If you let it go and you've inherited a 100-year-old ring that hasn't had any maintenance at all, most likely we're going to have to rebuild it because there's just nothing left to work with. But like I've said already, your best defense is getting these claws checked. You want to retip those claws before you replace that diamond. Absolutely. Retipping a claw can be about $30 per claw. So having just replacing those 4 is a lot less than replacing a $10,000 diamond.
Gotcha.
Right there. So, I mean, and doing the reshanking is really important because you're weakening your ring by not doing it. If it's very, very thin, and all of these are really, this is the proper thickness right there. So very, very thin rings will bend, they will crack, they will break, and they'll be so uncomfortable to wear.
Right.
So it's always worth doing, and it's always worth checking.
So it basically sounds like you can bring rings back from the brink of death.
Well, yeah, almost. There's some that are beyond that point of return. Like I said, you may have, little Junior may have dropped it down the trash compactor, or you may have run it over with the truck. We could try and save some of that, but there's no guarantees. But the skills involved in repairs and restoring have come so far along that, yeah, we can have a look and do our best with just about anything.
Wow, great tips. So if I or if any of the wonderful people watching wanted to get something repaired, how would they contact you?
So you can reach me at Premier Gems YYC on Twitter. Feel free to email me, liz@premiergems.ca. You can always message us on Facebook, so that's Premier Gems. And come over and see us, but make an appointment first at the corner of 11th Avenue and 6th Street. We just want to accommodate you properly. So.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Liz. We'll see you again next time.
Okay, take care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.